Hey friend, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, let's get Deleterious. Toasted Coconut Deleterious is a 14.5% bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stout from Oddside Ales in Grand Haven, Michigan. I always have a hell of a time saying Deleterious, but this time I'm saying it the right way. Now, over the past few years, I've not only tried the regular Deleterious original recipe, but I've also had the extra crispy, the home style as well. But this year, new to the lineup is Toasted Coconut. Now, coconut can be a hard flavor to pull off sometimes. I feel like you're always kind of walking that fine line between too much, not enough. Let's see where this one lands, but first I'd like to thank my executive producers Brian Kramer, David Jeffries, Vinny Cant, and Cam Freeman for helping to bring this review to you today. If you'd like to become a producer, help out the channel, or maybe just throw me a couple bucks to buy me a beer, take a look at my Patreon at patreon.drafttherapy.com, where you can get early access to these videos and a few other special perks available only to patrons. If you want to support the channel but you don't want to give me any money, that's perfectly fine. I totally understand. Just share this video, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. All the stuff the YouTuber kids are talking about these days. Let's take a look at the label. All right, so this is very much like looks like the Deleterious label that we all know and love. Across the top of the can, it says Oddside. On the label, on the top, it says Oddside with the 3 hop cones. Underneath that, it says Toasted Coconut Deleterious Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels with toasted coconut. This time it's got the Grim Reaper, and I really like the effect on this Grim Reaper because it looks like the face is in focus and the background is kind of blurry and out of focus. It almost makes it look like it's a 3D kind of image. I wouldn't go so far as saying it's a magic eye, but you know, maybe something like that. And it looks like the Grim Reaper here is wearing this kind of tropical hoodie. In the Deleterious D, it has a skull, which I didn't notice until just now looking at it. If we turn it to the back here, it says brewed and canned by Oddside Ales in Grand Haven, Michigan. And you can find out more about them at oddsideales.com and their Facebook, their Twitter, their Instagram, their YouTube channel, all that good stuff. On the back here, it says Oddside with the 3 hop cones. It says Toasted Coconut Deleterious. Toasted coconut followed with aromas of rich dark chocolate showcase this bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stout. Roasty sweet with a perfect balance of flavors. This is 14.5% ABV. This looks like it was canned on a smudged date and time. Okay, here it says canned on January 31st, 2022. This is early April at the time of this recording. This beer should be almost like an infinite shelf life. So as long as the can doesn't leak, should be good to go. No lights getting in there, no air's getting in there. I'm going to use a large snifter style glass with this high ABV beer. We're going to crack it and put a nose on it. I want to say this, you could start to see this on shelves in, I think it was like mid-February, but I saw this one just a little bit ago. So let's put a nose on it. I am getting a nice coconut aroma, but it's not like the forefront aroma. I was going to say I'm not getting a lot of bourbon, but I kind of am now, as it's kind of opened up more. The coconut has kind of fallen, it's taken a back seat to the bourbon. Put it that way. So let's go ahead and pour this. Coming out really dark, looks pretty thick on the pour too, so that's a good sign. It looks a little thin through the light, but we're just gonna go down the middle, go down the hatch there, and yeah, it looks pretty dark. We're getting about a finger of head. I can hear the carbonation, the bubbles, just kind of like, you can hear the head starting to really dissipate, and holding it up to the light there, super dark. What I would expect to see from this, there is just a bit of a crimson red, reddish brown color, not seeing through it. Obviously, that's pretty dark. And let's put a nose on the glass here. Here I'm getting much more, so I was getting a little bit, I thought I was getting like toasted coconut or coconut at the beginning. When I took another sniff, I was getting the bourbon, and then I was getting a little bit of coconut. I am getting a little bit of coconut and a lot more of that roasted, roasty malty kind of aroma, and bourbon also, sweet bourbon kind of aroma, a little bit of a molasses aroma. Let's go ahead and try this one out. Cheers. We always talk about the mouthfeel on this channel. That's the first thing we do when we talk about a beer, when we drink it. Has a really nice mouthfeel. It's almost, it has a nice thick mouthfeel, a little heavy, almost syrupy, not quite syrupy. I am very excited to talk about the flavor on this because, well, let's leave it a little, I'll leave you in suspense for a few seconds. We'll talk about it here. And I just want to point out this lacing. You can kind of see the lacing on the glass as I've taken a drink. It's kind of left this little bit of an alcohol kind of lacing on there. Let's talk about the taste, the flavor. Really nice, dark, roasty flavors. A lot of nice chocolate flavor in there as well. You get on the finish, you get a little bit of that bourbon kind of charry kind of characteristic. You get the barrel characteristic in there. On the upfront, before that chocolate, before that roasty, that malty, you get that coconut, and it definitely has not just a coconut flavor, but you definitely get a toasted, roasted kind of coconut flavor in there. And I think that really helps with the chocolate. You get almost this kind of, I don't know, a little bit of like a Mounds Bar kind of flavor in there. It's not quite that sweet. It's not sweet like a Mounds Bar, but you're getting that coconut in there just like you get from a Mounds. You get that dark chocolate kind of flavor in there. You get those roasty notes. You get that char, that bourbon barrel characteristic. It really has a nice flavor. It's just something that, as I'm talking to you, I get a little bit of a burn on the aftertaste on my tongue, but I want to take another drink. And good golly, that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, you get that nice toasted coconut flavor, roasty kind of notes in there. It really mixes very well with that dark chocolate flavor, that dark chocolate vibe that you're getting there, which also kind of lends to this really nice roasted malty flavor. And on the finish, that's when you're getting that really great bourbon barrel characteristic. You're getting the bourbon notes, you're getting those oaky notes, you're getting those char, like woody kind of notes in there as well. On the swallow, on the aftertaste, like I said, there is definitely the feeling or the impression that the alcohol, the ABV, the 14.5% has run over your tongue and it's opened up your tongue a little bit. The alcohol kind of adds the air breathing over your tongue, kind of gives you a little bit of that sting, but it doesn't burn going down. It doesn't burn in your mouth. It's not like, it doesn't give off the effect that it's 14.5%. Now, 14.5% is pretty high. Like that's a pretty high ABV beer. If you're going to a brewery and you sit down and you want to drink like a few beers with your buds, like I just did a couple days ago, opening day, I'm not going to sit down and drink multiple of these, but I'm going to be able to tell that it's high ABV, but I'm not going to be able to say like, oh, this is 14.5%. Like I can feel it. If someone gave this to me and I didn't know, I would drink this and say, that's probably like 11%. That's like a 10, 11, 12%, but it's 14.5. Like, what? Whoa, it really is surprising how well that's masked. And I think that's a real testament to how well they put this whole kind of brew together. That is just a really quality, really nice bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout. Like, I know we're in April, we're like 4 months into the year. I would say this is probably like in the top echelon of like bourbon barrel aged stouts that I've had this year. And at the beginning of the year, I know I had a lot more, stouts, barrel aged stouts, regular stouts. This is definitely in the top, probably at least top 5, maybe even top 3. I'd have to look back and see what I've drank so far this year, like on video. But this is definitely hitting a super high note. It's leaving a really high bar for the rest of the year and for the rest of bourbon barrel aged stouts for this year. All right, friends, that has been Toasted Coconut Deleterious from Oddside Ales in Grand Haven, Michigan. Have you had this one yet? What did you think? Do you have a favorite version of Deleterious? Do you have a favorite Imperial Stout this year or a bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout? Let me know in the comments down below while you're down there. If you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell. I'm here talking about beer twice a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays is all for free for viewers just like you. And you might miss your newest favorite if you're not subscribed and getting those notifications. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a thing. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries. These guys are in Grand Haven, Michigan. You should already know that. They're Oddside Ales. And most importantly, after you've subscribed, you've supported your local breweries and all that good stuff, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Cheers.